Hello, I heard you want to play the One Piece card game. I think that's awesome, but you sadly don't know how to play, and that's okay. I'm here to teach you and kind of get you the basics of everything. To start off, you're going to need three separate things. One is your leader, or a leader card specifically, your Dawn deck, which is made up of 10 Dawn cards. Lastly, you're going to want a full deck of playing cards for specifically the One Piece card game, 50 to be exact. Now, starting off, we're going to make it a little simpler and explain these one at a time. The first one is going to be your Dawn deck. Now, your Dawn is your resources. You're going to need these to play cards and just play the game outright. Now, to use a Dawn, you're essentially just going to tap it or rest it. Very simple. This bottom part, your turn plus 1,000, don't worry about that right now. We'll get to that later. Next up is going to be your leader. Your leader tells you a lot of things. For example, it's going to tell you how much power you have, what kind of attribute you have. This one specifically is Slash. The name, called Gaara, and what types that this character is, or leader. This leader is a Jaya, Sky Island, and Shandian warrior type. Also, it will tell you the abilities of what it does, and its life. Right now, we do not need to learn about the ability, for we're not playing a game. Next up, we're going to have three different types of cards. We are going to have a character card, we are going to have event cards, and we are going to have stage cards. Starting off with our character, this is Enel. As you can see, Enel is a Sky Island type character, not a leader, character. He has 7,000 power and has the special attribute. Now, Enel costs 7. Remember our Dawn that I talked about earlier? Those are going to be needed to play him. You're going to need 7 Dawn in order to play this Enel. Don't worry about what the rush is and this other stuff. We'll get to that when we set up the game. Next up is your event cards. The reason I have 2 is because they have 2 different abilities, or 2 different things that happen. As you can see, this costs 0, which is like, oh cool, I don't need Dawn to spend it. But if you can see right here, it says counter, you may trash 1 card from your hand. Up to one of your leader or character cards gains 3,000 power during this battle. If you do not understand what that means, a quick rundown. If you can see, the you may trash 1 from your hand is darker text and bolded, which means you have to do this if you want the other thing to happen. Otherwise, you just play this and you don't get this boost that's underneath it. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this one versus this one is because, as you see, that says main, this says counter. To basically make this as simple as possible, counter means to be played on your opponent's turn. Next up, we have another event that costs 3. This one is called We'll Ring the Bell Waiting for You. And as you can see, it is a Jaya, Sky Island, and Shandian warrior type event card, or just type card in general. This one is a main. Main means you play it on your turn. This one lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to a total of 2 Shandian warrior type character cards or Mont Blanc Noland, and add them to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. To show you the difference here, when they have these kinds of brackets that look like they have little arrows on the end, that is the typing that you're looking for. If it has just a normal square bracket, those are the names of characters that you are looking for. Next up, we have a stage card. A stage card is essentially something that kind of helps your favor just slightly. Now I have yet to have a stage card that is that strong that people like playing, but this one is 1 Dawn. It is a Sky Island type card, and it is called Upper Yard. When you tap your Dawn or rest it, you can play this. The words on play mean as soon as you play it, something happens. This one is similar to the last event card I showed you, except you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to only 1 Sky Island type card added to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Now, I'm going to show you what it's like to set up for a game of One Piece. First, usually you have your leader in the middle. I've seen people put them at the top. Essentially, you want your leader somewhere where you can put the characters either above them or below them along with the stages. But I usually see people put it in the middle. Next, Your Dawn deck is usually to the left corner or your left side. Then your deck is to the right. Now, my recording setup right here is in the way, so I'm going to put it up here just to kind of show you that the deck is there. So first, you're going to draw your 5 cards. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you like your hand, you are going to tell your opponent, I'm going to keep my hand. If not, you can do something called mulligan. Mulligan lets you put your deck or your hand back on top of your deck, shuffle, and draw 5 new cards. If you said, I'm keeping it, next we're going to move to your life. As I showed you before, your leader, always in the bottom right corner, will show you how much life you have. In this case, I have 5. So we are going to take the top 5 cards of our deck without looking at them and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is your life stack, or just your life. So how this works is these cards go to your hand every time you take a damage or you get hit by one of your opponent's characters. Now, we're going to act as if we go first. Remember, if you are going first in a standard game of One Piece, you cannot attack on your first turn, both you and your opponent. You going first cannot draw a card, but your opponent can. Then, during your Dawn phase, you only Dawn 1 instead of 2. After your first turn, you will do 2 Dawn every turn. Essentially, you get free resources without having to play them from your hand. So let's say I do that Dawn, I go, okay, pass. They Dawn 2 after drawing their card, comes back to me. We're going to refresh. Now the refresh stage is, let's say if we did have the ability to attack that first turn, everything that's turned sideways comes back up. Now we're going to draw our card. Wow, look at that. I like that card. Next, we are going to Dawn 1 and 2. We can now attack. Now, remember on these Dawn cards, when I said your turn plus 1,000, not to worry about that? We're now going to show you what this does. So, our leader says, Dawn 1. When attacking, play up to 1 Shandian Warrior type character card from your hand with a cost equal to or less than the number of Dawn cards on your field. If you do, add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. So, Dawn times 1 means we need to have a Dawn attached to the leader. The way you do that is on your turn, if you have any Dawn that are active, not rested, just upright, you can take them and attach them to the leader. Now, be careful when you do this, because once you attach it and you take your hands away, you cannot take this off unless your opponent is casually playing. Because in my experience, once you attach and take your hands off, it's like chess. You can no longer take it away. The reason why this says your turn plus 1,000 is because it's going to boost our leader by 1,000 power. Kalgara is now 6,000 power. So we are going to swing. His ability will activate upon attacking or resting him. We do not have a Shandian Warrior that costs 3 or less. So, this is the point where your opponent can use a counter card. Now, counters are events, and they also can be characters. For example, on the right-hand side here, or the left-hand side, my bad, you see counter, plus 2,000. Let's say your opponent is attacking us, and they have 7,000 power. The reason why we counter is because we need to get higher than the attacking power. For example, if our opponent decided to attack us with 8,000 power, we need to get stronger than him. We cannot match his power at 8, we need 9,000 or more. So we are going to do a 2K wiper, bringing him to 7. Now, this Dawn no longer works on your opponent's turn. It is only your turn that they get the boost. So after I am done attacking and pass, Kalgara will go back to 5,000 power. So with the 2K, he becomes 7. Do another one. He is now 9K, which means we block this and do not take a damage. But on the off chance you take a damage, all you do is you flip the card up, see if it has a trigger down here. So to show you what a trigger is, let's say this card was on your life, and I do not counter, I let him hit me, boom. You get to choose if you want to use this trigger. Triggers are only used when they come from your life to your hand through damage, not through you putting it to your hand, not trashing it. It is only if you get hit for damage. Trigger is draw 2 cards and trash 1 from your hand. If you want to use this, you go, yes, I'd like to use this trigger. This will now activate that small little text. You draw 2 cards, and then you get to choose from your entire hand which one you want to trash. Now, keep in mind, when you use a trigger, it'll go to the trash because you can no longer use that card because you used the trigger of it. With that being said, everything is pretty simple. If you have any other questions, feel free to look further into the One Piece card game. They have a video that is arguably better than mine. But if you have any questions, such as, characters. So, for example, this character, if I were to play them, they have 5,000 power, but they cannot attack the turn they're played. The only time they're allowed to is if they have a keyword called Rush. Now, Rush is either directly on the card or slightly different. And what I mean by that is, remember that Enel? Enel has Rush, which means the turn that he is played, he can swing right away. For example, another version of Rush that's slightly different is this one. It's Porcus D Ace, 7,000 power, 5 Dawn. It says, on play, if you have 2 or less life cards, this character gains Rush. This one is situational. So let's say I have 4 life, boom, I play him. Because I do not have 2 or less life, this does not activate this. Because I have 4, I need 2 or less. But let's say I had 2 or less life. He can now swing just like Enel. Also, before I forget, your characters can leave the field through effects such as event cards that say KO a card that is 5 or less. This, Porcus the Ace, will get KO'd, whereas this one would not because it has 7. However, keep in mind, when your cards are rested, they can be attacked by other characters on your opponent's side. And much like your leader, you can counter to make them stronger so they don't leave the field. So once again, let's say we have our Enel here. Let's say our Enel here is rested. And we pass the turn, and our enemy, our opponent, has a character that was played out last turn. Let's say it's this Kalgara. 8,000 power. He then says, I want to swing, not at us for life, but at this Enel to get him off the board. We can go back to our hand and find counters and be like, okay, I will 2K, making it 9,000 power, so my character gets to stay on the field. Keep in mind, the more cards you have, the safer you probably feel knowing that you have a way to protect your board and your characters. With all that being said, I do apologize if this was out of order, but this is one of my first times doing one of these, specifically because one of my followers or someone who commented didn't know how to play. So, if you would like a better version of this, to a point where I actually follow a script, let me know. With all that being said, I hope you enjoy One Piece, and I hope that you get into your games with your friends. Also, don't forget that there's an online simulator that can also help you learn to play the game better, or just with random strangers. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.